So Peter, a pleasure once again.
Hello again, Zed.
So in this video, what are you going to be teaching us?
Okay, this video I'm going to be showing you how to do a rolling pin. This time it's out of ash rather than cherry, and a rolling pin is a great practice for using the wide flat chisel and for doing planing cuts. Okay, on this video we're going to be turning a rolling pin, and as in previous how-to videos, we did an initial video which showed you how to prepare the wood, how to split it, to cleave it, to axe it, to draw knife it, and to rough it out so it's down to this point on the lathe. So now what we've got is a nice cylinder. A lot of the time I don't worry whether it's got tapers, because if I'm making a chair leg then it tapers down anyway, but this is going to be a rolling pin, so I want a nice consistent diameter all the way along. I'm left-handed, and I've been showing you on the other films left-handed. I'll have a go at doing a few things right-handed for all you right-handed people out there. Again, dominant hand, this time it's right hand, hold it at the end, hold your hand, rest your hand on the tool rest and hold onto the piece of wood. Nice low angle. You can notice you start off with your chisel not cutting, you bring it up until it's just cutting. Nice long strokes with the lathe, or long strokes with the treadle, and that will bring down your piece of wood to the right diameter. Another quick little tip, always angle your chisel when you go off the end. If you come in this way, it digs in and then the piece of wood tends to fly off. So that's pretty consistent all the way along. We might as well just go one more time just to get it going nice. At the moment, I'm holding my chisel straight on. You can angle it slightly. You get a slightly different cut, depending on whether you're going downhill or you can come back on yourself. See what works. A nice way to be consistent is to roll your chisel along. And then you're moving the chisel only a few times along. There we go. And that's it down to a nice cylinder. You have a choice now. We're looking at, well, we can smooth off the rolling pin, or we can do the handles. I always like to smooth off the rolling pin first of all before turning some handles, simply because if I go wrong then I can smooth it off again and I don't have to repeat what I'm doing at the ends with the handles. So we'll give this a try right-handed. Again, with your flat chisel, we want it at an angle, not straight on. If it's straight on, you're going to dig into the corners of the chisel. We want it with the bevel side down, at an angle, and I'm holding it on, but I'm putting my palm underneath it. That stops it twisting. So if I'm going that way, I've got my fingers underneath to stop it twisting that way. I'm going that way, I've got my palm underneath. So we're starting to work our way along. Can you see I'm making a little line, the leading edge of the cut. And every time I put the chisel on, I'm just pushing that leading edge of the cut along. Every time I take my chisel off, bring my foot up, I put the chisel back on again, and then push that cut along. So that's reasonably smooth going that way, and we'll try going back down this way. Notice these contour lines on your piece of work. Sometimes hopefully it's nice and they're consistent, so that's in effect going downhill, so you want to work the chisel that way. Now we're going to go that way, so we want to try and go downhill as well. Got a little knot there, so I've got to be really gentle going across the knot. Now we've got a problem coming up, which is of course the string. Getting a bit close to the string, so I'm going to kick my treadle across and move the string over to there, just temporarily. Now I know the diameter of this rolling pin gets a bit smaller just there, so I have to bring up my backhand just slightly. And I'm not too worried because this bit is going to be the handle bit. Still a little bit left. I haven't smoothed it off completely. But that's looking quite consistent for a rolling pin. Let's swap round for your left-handers. Then if you come around this side, I can then take a little bit more off. As you can see, I'm a little bit more confident left-handed than right-handed. So that's nice and consistent. I'm going to take a lighter cut. And I'm going to move the string back. And I'm going to come back this way and try and get the angle and the diameter quite consistent going all the way along. How's that looking?
Looking fantastic, that.
Okay, one way of finishing the end of the rolling pin, we could just use the flat chisel to roll it over. I'm going to take a little bit off. I'm going to take a little bit more off. Round it off a bit more. And that does save picking up and putting down chisels. But that's a nice simple end to the rolling pin. But let's do something different on this side. I'm going to kick the treadle over, move the string over. We'll do a little bit with the big gouge. Round it down. Notice how the chisel is coming around that way. So it's pointing off the end. That'll roll it around a little bit. And then we're going to use the spindle gouge to do a little handle. We're going to go straight in. And rolling it around. I want that to go straight down there. Roll it down that way. Just building up the shape that we want. Notice how if you look at the other films, you get a slightly different shaving coming off from the ash. It's a bit harsher to work. Nice for your chair legs, nice for things, but it's a bit harsher to work. So that's roughed it out a bit. We could just use the flat chisel if we're practicing this. Really brace it under there. And then bring it down. And that's one end. And now you could treat your flat chisel like a skew and roll it around. But I have to admit, I find I get a better cut or a better shape with the skew chisel. So again, if you want a real lesson in using the skew chisel, watch my film on turning a foot massager. There we go, round that around. And we use the tip. Just to work in. So we've got one end rounded over and one end with a little button end. And finally, a handful of shavings. Just make sure they're clean. Make sure there's no little bits of grass in there, no mud or anything. Otherwise, all your hard work suddenly gets these green stains going along. Let's hold it so you can see. Putting lots of pressure as my foot goes down, less pressure as my foot comes up. And there we have one rolling pin, reasonably smooth. Okay, once you've finished it, we're going to take it off. But before we take it off, just remember, this is a bit of ash for this film. Other films I've done, we've been turning cherry. Cherry is a much wetter wood, so it takes a lot more drying. It needs to be dried a little bit more slowly. The ash has got less moisture in it and it takes less drying, but still on a hot sunny day, put it in the shade. Don't leave it in direct sunlight, don't leave it next to a radiator just to try and force dry it. Put it in the shade, put it in the cool, let it dry out naturally. If you really want a perfect cylinder, let it dry out, don't take the ends off, and then put it back on the lathe and return it down to a cylinder. You'll then discover how much harder it is to turn seasoned timber than green timber. I've never bothered returning it, to be honest. And then finally, hold on to your rolling pin, undo the ends, let it come off, and there we have one rolling pin.
A question I have for you, Pete, as a final question: oiling. What are your thoughts about oiling objects like we've made before in the series, and also this rolling pin? Would you bother? Would you just leave it as it is?
With a rolling pin, to be honest, I wouldn't bother. Once you've rolled out a few pieces of pastry, the butter, whatever oil is within the pastry, will then just go into the wood and build up a nice patina. Other than that, yeah, oil the things. A little bit of, you can use linseed oil, but just ever such a thin layer. Don't use boiled linseed oil. It's got some sort of dryers. Use something that's food safe, I think, and then just wipe it over and wipe off the excess.
Well, Pete, a sincere thank you.
It's been great fun.
So there you go, guys. That is a wrap for this pole lathe series taught by Peter Wood here at Greenwood Days. Peter, a sincere thank you.
Thank you very much for having me, Zed.
No, seriously, I really do mean it. It's very kindly inviting me down. Peter teaches us full time, and he has done for many, many years. He's an extremely busy guy with a huge roster of teaching timetables, as well as himself and guest instructors. So it means the world to me that not only has he kindly invited me down and taken a whole day out to record this entire series, but also that he's willingly shared all his knowledge. That, to be completely upfront with you, he charges people, to come to learn from him in person, and he also does a lot of exhibitions around the country. So I'm really grateful that he's kind of allowed me to document this and share this with you. Before I'll speak to Peter about some parting words for this series. A couple of suggestions, if I may. Number one, obviously, please do go check out the rest of the series. Obviously, they all are interlinked, and it all follows part of this kind of like grander picture that Peter really wanted to get across to you to kind of help you on your journey with the pole lathe. Secondly, as I mentioned on previous videos, Peter Wood does have his site greenwooddays.co.uk. On there's a plethora of information on a multitude of courses that he runs, and also the guest instructors he has come down throughout the year. It's an absolutely stunning location where this school is at. So honestly, if you want to find out more about the classes that he runs, then I will put a link below to his website. Also on there, you have the opportunity to join his email newsletter, where he gives you exclusive information and previews on new courses that he's adding to the roster, and the shows and exhibitions that he's at throughout the year. So please do go check out his website. I'll put a link below. Also, it's very active on Instagram and Facebook, posting up pretty much every single day, so you can see all the stuff that's going on and the behind the scenes look. So I'll put a link below as well to his Instagram and Facebook. And with that being said and done, Peter, are there any parting words from your good self to people that are watching this entire series?
Just watch the series, enjoy, give it a try. If you're not happy, just search out people that teach it, come along to Greenwood Days, try out some different courses, keep looking at Zed, keep looking at me, and enjoy the series. Hope you liked it. How
many people would you say you've taught over the years, pole lathe? It's got to be
thousands.
Yeah.
Thousands. I was working out with the chair making. It must be coming up to 20 years of chair making. I think I'm teaching and making probably 50 to 60 chairs this year. So that's 500, that's 600, 700 sort of.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that's more like 1,000 chairs over the 20 years of teaching. So a lot of chairs, a lot of pole lathe turners, and a lot of other things. But it's great just being able to share this information and this skill with people.
See, Peter's an extremely humble guy, but I can assure you he knows his stuff, right? And he's a very, very experienced teacher, very experienced guy at exhibiting as well. You watch him in his element at the shows around the country, and he's an awe to watch. So once again, a sincere thank you, Peter. I really do mean that. For your hospitality to have me down there and share this with you. So please do go check out the rest of the videos in this series if you haven't done so already. Check out Peter's website and social media below and give him a follow. And once again, Peter, a sincere thank you.
It's a pleasure, Zed.
Guys, I wish you the best of luck in your journey into the pole lathe side of things. I know I'm starting out on the journey myself as well. So I hope you enjoyed this series. A sincere thanks from Peter and myself for you that you watched this entire series, and wishing you the best of luck. And as always, I hope whatever you're doing, you have a blessed day, a blessed week ahead. From Peter and myself, peace out.
See ya.